The Ship of Theseus is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. The paradox is most notably recorded by Plutarch in Life of Theseus from the late 1st century. The paradox has been used to explore questions about identity and change across time in Western philosophy. It has spawned a variety of theories of identity within modern and contemporary metaphysics. According to legend, Theseus, the mythical Greek founder king of Athens, rescued the children of Athens from King Minos after slaying the Minotaur and then escaped onto a ship going to Delos. The ship was preserved by the Athenians down even to the time of Demetrius Phalereus. They took away the old planks as they decayed, putting in new and stronger timber in their places. Insomuch that this ship became a standing example among the philosophers for the logical question of things that grow. One side holding that the ship remained the same, and the other contending that it was not the same. The paradox of the Ship of Theseus is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. It has been used to explore questions about identity and change across time in Western philosophy. The paradox of the Ship of Theseus raises questions about identity and change across time. There are several theories that have been proposed to solve the paradox of the Ship of Theseus. Here are some of them. 1. Heraclitus theory. Heraclitus believed that everything is in a constant state of flux and that nothing remains the same. He used the example of a river to illustrate his point. According to him, you can never step into the same river twice because the water is constantly flowing and changing. Similarly, the Ship of Theseus is constantly changing as its parts are replaced over time. 2. Aristotle's causes. Aristotle believed that there are four causes or reasons that describe a thing: material cause, formal cause, efficient cause, and final cause. The material cause refers to what something is made of. The formal cause refers to its shape or form. The efficient cause refers to what brings something into being. And the final cause refers to its purpose or end goal. By analyzing these four causes, Aristotle believed that you could get to a solution to the paradox. 3. Definitions of the same. Some philosophers have suggested that the paradox arises from a confusion over what it means for something to be the same over time. They argue that we need to be more precise in our definitions of identity and sameness. 4. Four-dimensionalism. This theory suggests that objects persist through time by having different temporal parts at different times. According to this view, an object like the Ship of Theseus is not identical with itself over time, but rather has different temporal parts at different times. Here are some real-life examples that illustrate the Ship of Theseus paradox. 1. George Washington's axe. This is a famous example of the paradox. The story goes that George Washington's axe was passed down through generations of his family. Over time, the handle and the blade were replaced several times. So the question is it still George Washington's axe? 3. The car that has had all its parts replaced. Suppose you have a car that has had all its parts replaced over time. Is it still the same car? These examples relate to the Ship of Theseus paradox because they raise similar questions about identity and sameness over time. If an object has had all its parts replaced, is it still the same object? If not, at what point did it become a different object? These are difficult questions to answer and have been debated by philosophers for centuries. In general, the Ship of Theseus paradox is still relevant today because it raises important questions about identity and sameness over time. These are difficult questions to answer and have been debated by philosophers for centuries. The paradox also has implications for fields such as biology, where it is relevant to questions about the persistence of organisms over time.